humans, andalites, ears, hork, bajir, and taxons, if you managed to find some earbuds, welcome to the Wonder Years. For all your Animorphs rereading and eventual rewatching needs, I'm Sarah.
I'm Blair.
I'm Seda.
Hey.
Hey. Sorry I robbed you of that high energy intro.
That's alright. I was like midway through switching and I realized maybe I should sing Mamma Mia, and then I was like, no. And instead I'm just mentioning it.
Sure.
Sure.
As you had said, Happy Mother's Day to this book.
Happy Mother's Day, this book.
Happy Mother's Day, Animorphs.
That's the start of Mamma Mia.
It sure is. I actually wasn't even thinking about that until like the last fourth of this book, and I was like, oh, we're just gonna have fun, I guess. This is going to be I guess a seasonally appropriate piece of literature.
Yes, because I think Mother's Day is next week.
Sunday,
yes, it's next Sunday.
It's so it's just a couple days after we release this, which is, I think, beautiful and thematically appropriate and just as devastating as it should be.
Absolutely.
And it's been planned this whole time.
Yep, all those weeks off. I wasn't too depressed to edit. I was just trying to make up time.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. The TV show episodes we're only supposed to be every other week.
Yeah.
What we got here?
I will say,
Yes.
cover and can I just jump right into this, because I feel like we have a shit ton to talk about.
We do.
Sure.
Okay, let's just go for it.
Cover and cover is slightly misleading, I will say.
Yes.
Title on point.
Yes.
We are discussing Visser this week. It is very much that. It is a book from Visser 1's perspective. But it does have an Andalite on the cover, which I believe is supposed to be Visser 3. And,
just barely about him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just supposed to be like an intimation of what Visser 3 says, just like the fucking Evangelion pathetic phase, except for it's Visser.
Yeah.
Again, they've made Andalites look so very strong when we know this is not the case.
Specifically in this book, they talk about how weak Visser 3's arms look.
Yeah.
He has weak little baby arms. But he's a big muscle man.
They still managed to make him frown, even though he doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
He's just the best.
He is.
He is. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details of it when we get to it, but I just want to say the framing of Visser 3 against Visser 1 is just like two different styles of like Saturday morning cartoon villains.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just against each other. Just works so perfectly because Visser 3 is just at his most performative dramatic.
Yep.
I mean, he is putting on a performance. They both are to some degree, but like it's to the point where Visser 1 is like constantly rolling her eyes at his antics.
And I love like how much of this book is like, not quite to the level of like 3D chess, but it is very much like the two Vissers lying to each other and knowing they're lying, or telling the truth, or pushing each other to lie or tell the truth, versus like what they know, and then the council is also there, and so it's like everybody has their own like game that they're playing, and they have their own like allies and their own like knowledge of what the other person thinks, and it's like so overcomplicated in exactly the way that I want.
Yes, I think this is my favorite book we've read in a while.
I am pretty. Yeah, I think I'm close. I might agree.
Yes. But let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this whole situation.
We begin with Marco's mom begging Visser to let her say goodbye to Marco.
Yeah.
Like, literally from page fucking 2, we're
Yes.
like, shit, so this is the type of book this is.
Yeah. It is a book with a little levity. But such fun energy somehow.
Absolutely. Well, all of the time skipping does a lot, I think, to help, because it's very much, it's framed as like a story that they're telling in the present, but they switch back between like here's what happened, and it actually happening, which I feel like does a lot to actually keep the energy up, even though it could do the opposite. It's great.
Yes.
But yeah, so we start, I wasn't sure at first. I mean, we learn a couple paragraphs in, like, we learn fairly quickly that we're starting with Marco's mom already as a controller.
Yes.
And excuse me. And basically we jump in on the day that the Visser has decided that Marco's mom has to die or fake her death. And so Marco's mom is like begging her to let her say goodbye to Marco one last time, and Visser's like, shut up.
Yes.
And goes off to fake her death on a boat, as we know happens.
Yes.
I love right away I was so excited because we get Visser just internally monologuing, being like, yes, my boat would be discovered, but my body would not. I would be given the inevitable superstitious send-off, but with no body. And I was like, yes, 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 yes.
What I loved about this is that Visser 1 is, like, immediately super excited about just being able to sail in the first place, and, like, like, waxes poetic about the sensation of sailing. And I feel like it kind of is a really great precursor to her theme throughout the rest of the book, which is to say she is just a little bit too intimate with the positive aspects of being human. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I really like it because the more you learn about her, you see that part differently, because at the beginning, when you think she's sort of this, like, soulless commander, of course she enjoys sailing, like, it's such an expression of power and and skill, and it, you know, has a stealth aspect, but so it all makes sense for, like, this very sort of non-emotional warrior, and you're like, yeah, totally. But then the more you learn about her, you're like, oh wait, no, she loves, like, the waves and the sun, and it's so cool, like, just to have this little character aspect that only gets more interesting the more you learn about her. I think is very cool.
I just adore her.
Yeah.
So then we flash to the present, and we find that Visser 1, whose name is Idris, some numbers at the end, but as Yerk fashion, she is on trial for by the Council of 13 for, like, a litany of crimes. And as they were listing them off, I was like, all of them had the death sentence attached to them. And I am like, how? Okay, the Yerks must repopulate, like, so quickly to the rate that they are constantly killing their own. Just this, it is so combative with the fact that they've ever been able to create an empire.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But I think it might have a lot to do with the fact that the species that they've, like, infiltrated have kind of been a monoculture in a sort of way, which is probably why humans are so difficult, because there's so many of them, and there's, like, it's really hard to predict how each one is gonna, you know, react.
First of all, I love this entire, like, I love how this book discusses humans as aliens, because it's very honest. And I mean, it falls for sort of the normal pitfalls, which is like, oh, humans are so complicated, but I feel like it does it in a more interesting way than just having, because I mean, the whole reason that humans are here is because they are considered in some way to be easily conquerable, or at least theoretically conquerable. And so it has a little bit more dimension to it. But secondly, I love the visual that we start off with here, where basically Visser 1 and 3 are in a room together, and Visser 1, as you may recall, was just in a pretty bad explosion.
Yes.
And apparently just looks like shit. Yeah. And, like, has several broken bones, and is just, like, half burned, can barely move her face. And they are sort of, like, classic hologram communicating with this council, who are all wearing, of course, cloaks. Fuck yeah. I love,
so fun.
Like, the detail that the Hork-Bajir controllers are also wearing cloaks, and but they're wearing like a fine mesh underneath of them, underneath them, so that they don't like cut them up. I love that they were like, we want everyone to wear robes, but Hork-Bajirs are made of knives. Mesh.
And also, there are taxons there, which I don't know how. Those are like centipedes. I don't know how they're wearing robes.
I think they're literally described as just like sort of draped over the part that they hold up. Like,
so stupid. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love the Yeerks.
And we like pretty quickly learn that, you know, we start to go back as they're like, so, Idris, you've done all of these types of treason, all of which are punishable by death. Mm-hmm. Tell us your story. And we pick up pretty much, what was the book? Was it Hork-Bajir Chronicles? No. It was whichever,
I think it was the Andalite.
It was Andalite Chronicles.
Yes.
Where basically Visser 3 is like, hey, I discovered humans. And Idris is like, I discovered humans.
I did that.
I did that. It's very much like, I made this. You made this? I made this. And she talks about how transmission speed at the time was much slower. It took hours for the images to load, the images of Chapman and Lauren that got sent to her. And I love that the Yeerks also had like a dial-up phase.
Me too.
That's very funny.
I mean, this is like across several galaxies dial-up, so you know. Yeah. But also at the same time, it's I like it because I like unimpressive, impressive things.
Yes.
You know, it's just it's fun.
Yeah. And Idris is basically like is stationed at a place that is like not doing very much, and is sort of like training people, and then she's about to get transferred to another place where she's going to be put in a taxon body, and she's like, well, fuck, taxon body means that they don't care if I live or die. I love the Yeerks so much that I'm going to do treason and go find better hosts for us. But it's for the Yeerks. It's because I love the Yeerks. Okay, bye. And goes to Earth. I just love her being like, I'm so loyal that I had to do treason, actually. Because I knew that I had a good idea and that my idea would save us. But no one was listening to me. But it would be a good idea, so I had to do it. Okay,
and
thanks.
And then around this point, she like basically accuses Visser 3 of conspiracy with the Andalites. Because I mean, kind of she does, because she kind of backs out on it at the same time, but she's just trying to plant the seed, I guess, because she's like, yeah, someone, and looks meaningfully at Visser 3, decided to not let me go, despite us both knowing that there was potential like level 5 like sentient species there. And then she like backtracks, is like, as it turned out, it was just stupidity and not actual conspiracy, but looking meaningfully at Visser 3 again.
And I guess like I think this is the first time we've learned about sort of like your classification of different species. Where basically you have 5, and I'm not going to remember the exact order, but you have like ones that are useless because their bodies don't do enough. You have ones that would theoretically be useful but are not very controllable. You have some that are useful but they would be too hard to take over because of their like technological advancements. And there was also another one, and there's level 5, which is like, these are useful bodies who are able to easily turn into controllers, who are also easy to take over. And also there are a lot of them. Oh, that's one. Yeah. Like if they don't reproduce quickly enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Idris takes another Yeerk with her, Esam or something like that, and then rockets off to Earth with some like, you know, vague calculations of where it probably is. And they break back to the present, where we introduce like a mechanic, I guess. Probably not the right word to refer it to as, but a memory dump, where basically the memories from this time could be recorded. I think it's described as something that can be done at the time, but also is something that's just done intermittently as one is completing a mission or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like it is something that is required when you are lower level.
Mm-hmm.
But like not when you're higher, but if
Sure.
you're doing missions when you're lower level, then you gotta, because for accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so this becomes a way that you can have... See, I was really interested by this because it is sort of touted as like a way to see something that happened objectively, but it is also very much you're seeing somebody's experience of something. So I'm really curious as to how objective it actually is. Like,
yeah,
if you take the memories too far away from when they actually happened, are they still accurate, or does the memory get warped? I mean, this is all conjecture. But
well, I don't know, because so these memories I think are dumped at the time.
Yeah, these ones specifically are.
These ones specifically are. It might, the way Yerk memory works might be totally different than the way that human memory works.
True.
So you know, Yerks could very well have like a complete
objective memory somehow.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it would kind of make sense with their personality, I think, if they did.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So, Idris describes landing somewhere and.
Well, just like very briefly before that, I love the moment where they approach Earth. And she's in orbit, and she starts to get like pick up transmissions, and she's like, "Whoa, they're definitely on that planet, because that planet is crazy busy." But also, why the fuck do humans communicate so much? This is like, because so I think it seems like they land in the 80s. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and she's basically like, oh my god, like TV, like there's a description, she starts picking up snippets of conversations, which felt very, I love, it dates it in a very great way, where she gets a snippet of conversation that says, he was all like, no problem, and I was like, reality check, which is great.
I feel like I think that at one point one of the news broadcasters like mentions Desert Storm or something, which places this in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
I think at most like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yes, because give or take, because that wouldn't, because there's a child later who is 9 years old. Which is way younger than I expected him to be.
Yeah, same.
For some reason, I was like, oh, this is happening like 20 years in the past or something.
I guess I assumed 80s partially because pretty soon we're going to end up in Hollywood. And there are a lot of mentions of an unnamed drug that a lot of people are doing. And I just kind of went like, oh, so it was like some cocaine 80s style.
It's so crazy because there's an unnamed drug but the woman who does it, like,
is
specifically Jenny Lyons, which I think is a little.
That's so true. I didn't even fucking pick that. Oh, that's really funny.
I can't believe they did. I just it's a very funny, like almost explicit reference to cocaine in a children's book.
It's so funny. Okay. I was gonna say they pick up a type of she picks up a type of conversation accompanied by rhythmic sounds arranged in patterns, and I was just like, I'm gonna love this book so much because we're gonna get an alien describing music. Like, I don't know, they were talking, but then it had like boop 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 ba-doop boop ba-doop in the background. I don't know what that is. And they land in the middle of a war zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Probably.
And, like, eventually, like, fairly shortly after, she becomes the first human controller, makes the first human host. And there's a detail I thought was very interesting, which is that we go through the process of a Yerk smelling something for the first time.
Uh-huh.
Which I guess implies that Hork-Bajir don't have a sense of smell.
Which is crazy.
Which seems really weird to me for any animal, but especially like a herbivore that lives in a forest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like your sense of smell is really important if you eat fruit.
Yeah.
I guess they don't eat fruit. They eat tree bark. So maybe it doesn't matter. But, like, that really surprised me. I mean, it's very cool because at first I was like, what is she talking about? Because she was like, and then there was another sense. There was something that didn't give me enough information, but it was tied to memory, and it happened every time I inhaled. And I was like, what? Smell? Has this Yurk never smelled anything before?
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah. It's never really made explicit, but I guess that's what they were going for.
Kind of just grokking that now.
Yeah.
What I also loved about this process is her description of the joining of the left brain and the right brain.
Yeah. Honestly, like, the whole thing, this was, like, some really good, like, humans as alien stuff with just, like, the human. Why is the human... Wait, does a human have two brains? No, it's different.
Kind of, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And she describes, like, a sort of, like, philosophy connected to it, like, constantly... She's like, oh, of course humans wage war against themselves. They're always at war against themselves internally anyway, which, I mean, you know, but also an interesting, you know, speculation. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Which
but
I think is really interesting in the sense that it then justifies the weird, like, how legitimate this justification is up to you, but it makes an attempt to justify the weird all other aliens are monocultures thing. Like, humans have something in their brain, like the split in their brain makes them able to argue with themselves and be indecisive, and, like, that is why they're different. I don't know.
I very much like I very much like I think we passed over this a little bit, but when they're scanning the radio waves, I very much enjoy, like, the 2 pages where Visser 1 gets, like, tricked by Star Trek.
Oh my god, yeah. I think actually that might be a little bit when they blast off into orbit again.
Oh, right, they go back into orbit. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I also loved that, and they dedicate, like, 3 paragraphs to these 2 Yeerks being like, wait a second, some of these are just not real. Some of these are lies. Do you think it's to, like, scare off invaders? What the fuck? How do they have a picture? How do they have video of faster than light speed travel? Is that even possible? We can't even do that. What? It's lies. What the fuck?
Someone would just go on TV and do lies on TV?
No. It's very funny. We also just get a brief moment where we go back to the present. We're hanging out with the council again, and I love, there's a detail that the Council of 13 does have an emperor. Like, there is a supreme leader of the Yeerks, but only the council knows who it is. I love that as a detail.
Yeah, that's a really good detail.
Because it means that the emperor can't be targeted for assassination, and everybody else, like, has to protect them because they risk also all being killed in an attempt to kill the emperor. And we also get a detail that fucking Visser 3 is like, humans need to food, and gives her a head of romaine lettuce and 2 raw eggs with some water. And she's like, you fucking idiot. How long have you been on Earth? How fucking long have you been on Earth?
This is so funny. It also reminded me that, I mean, I knew this, but somehow, like, you know, just didn't think about how the fact that, yeah, despite being around humans and in a human morph all the time, Visser 3 doesn't really have to live as a human, like, the same way the controllers that he, like, has jurisdiction over have to.
And I think that's really interesting when you start to think about how often he makes terrible decisions and doesn't understand humanity. Like, it's because he is not only an alien, he's a double alien. Like, he's an alien living in an alien body.
Right.
On Earth, being like, yeah, I can totally get these humans, don't worry about it.
Oh, he's just so dumb. He just doesn't, but he doesn't, and the thing is like, it's his, honestly, like, Visser 1 was right in all of the antics she gets up to.
Oh,
not all of them. Because, like, he's never gonna be able to understand how, like, humans work in a way that doesn't result in just waging a public war with them, which is something they discuss later.
Yeah.
Because, like, Visser 1 is all about subterfuge, and Visser 3 just does not have the finesse for something like that, which
Not
is
at all.
I mean, he doesn't need it though. Like I feel like he feels like he doesn't need it at least. Like
Right,
I think
sure,
the,
yeah.
I think the Yerk that used subterfuge, like he no longer has subterfuge. He can morph. Why the fuck would he need subterfuge? He can just kind of brute force everything.
right. I think honestly, if he had his way, it would be a public war, because it'd be like, ugh, we wouldn't have to be doing all this dancing around and everything.
Yeah.
I think he actually says that as much as he like. We learn later that Visser 1 is responsible for the sharing, and he's like, ugh, the sharing is such an annoying hassle to deal with all the time.
There's a moment when they're like first discussing like the beginning of the Yerk invasion of Earth, where they say, oh my god, there are 5 billion on the way to 6 billion potential hosts. And I was like, wait, what? That's low. Because I was thinking about 2019, where we're well on our way to 8.
Right.
And I was like, wow, 2 more billion humans in the past 20 years, huh?
Yeah.
We sure did that. How would we do that?
Well, I think humans is just exponential.
Yeah, it does seem to be true.
So
we also very quickly get what made me like laugh out loud, because it feels so like a Doctor Who special, where they're like, well, this human believes that the most powerful country in the world, or the most powerful faction, is the Americans, so we must go to America. And they find where America is, and they're like, it's bordered on 2 sides by an ocean, and then physical land borders separating it from other, one of which is a river, and the northern one, which seems arbitrary. It's like, yeah. It just reminded me so much of Matt Smith showing up in fucking Colorado or whatever in a Stetson, and being like, I wear a Stetson now, Stetsons are cool, and then shooting the fez with his gun, or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's like exactly that energy.
Yeah, which I find very delightful.
God, it's like Animorphs somehow does sci-fi camp so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. It's really enjoyable. Especially this, I feel like especially as soon as they touch down in Hollywood, it's like,
oh my god, yeah.
That extremely.
And we like, I love around here when the council takes a break and Visser 3 tries to trick her into saying more treasonous things by being like, hey, Visser 1, have you thought about how we're stronger together? What if we create better Yerk Empire? But he's just talking in thought speak. And then she says out loud, I know you're recording this. I'm not gonna say, wow, Visser 3, you're right. Let's destroy the council. I'm not gonna do it. You're so fucking dumb and I hate you. And he's
then we Gilligan cut to Visser 1 saying, I think Coolsville sucks.
So stupid.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Fairly, like, as they are going through all of the like TV and movies that are being broadcast, I feel like there's a suggestion that Yerks learned what torture is from humans.
I don't remember this detail, but explain.
They say that one of the things they say is that they learned that on occasion humans kill each other at an artificially slow speed.
I remember reading that line, but it kind of just like slid off of my brain.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about that. Partially, I think it was fresh in my mind because, there was just like the list of like, and so you've got death by Dracon beam, you've got death by starvation from Kandrona rays, you've got death by torture, and I was like, wow, they sure do have a lot of ways to torture, and then they don't seem to know the word for torture when they discover humans torture each other. Yeah. So I was like, fuck.
I mean, you could be right because, the Yerks, like, pointedly do not consider themselves to be predatorial at all. They're just parasitic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they... And a lot of the other species they've infested have not given up a lot of, like, struggles to it. So they're like, well, we might as well, you know? And
yeah. So I was just like, that was one of those, oops, humanity.
Whoopsie.
Uh-oh. And I love, again, the visual of them rolling into Hollywood.
Yes.
And they just, because they go to Hollywood because it's mentioned the most, because they're watching a bunch of movies and TV. And they say that it's almost like Hollywood expected to be invaded by aliens because they spell out their names in huge letters on a hill. God, that's good.
I also appreciate the transliteration of how Visser 1 thinks L.A. and Washington D.C. are spelled.
Oh yeah,
because
they're spelled phonetically.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, but like we heard of this place called L.A. Ellay. It's spelled, and this place called Washington Deesee.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's good.
These dumb aliens.
They're so stupid. And I'm honestly like, I love that they chose Hollywood because like shortly they're about to take their first like semi-permanent hosts who are an actress and a TV exec, and the studio exec is such a hilarious host because it means that we get a Yeerk trying to talk like a studio executive, which is very great. But they land basically in this backyard, and these two stupid humans are like, oh, did the studio send you? We were looking for aliens that were like kind of cuter. And then they take them, and literally Idris says like, so these are the bodies we had, so I took this body, so now I am a woman, and Essam took that body, so now he is a man. And it was just like, gender, huh?
Yeah, because that was something I was always like a little like something I've talked about before, I'm sure, is like, it seems so weird that that there's gender specific to the Yeerks, but I guess they must just assume whatever qualities are inherent in the host bodies, which almost seems a little too intimate, but I guess human beings, as we have learned, are just kind of like that, and just completely unfamiliar territory for them. So they get accustomed to their bodies. Idris is in a woman named Jenny Lines. She has a full name that's much longer that I don't remember, but Jenny Lines is her nickname. Who calls herself an actress, but it has not been in anything, which Idris is like, and is also like almost. It's like so on the nose. We talked about this. So on the nose that it's like that. It's well, yeah. But it's so on the nose that it's almost annoying that they just keep dancing around it. Yeah. She's like, she's a drug addict, but not saying cocaine.
Yeah, I was very curious about this because at a certain point, Idris mentioned. Maybe this is why her plans were so grandiose, because she was on fucking coke for the first year that she was on Earth. But like, she mentions like, no, I didn't like help her get sober, or I didn't like get the host body sober. I kept providing her with this drug. And I was just like, they almost seem to be implying that Yeerks, when if they take control of somebody who like has like, would she not feel like the physiological things of addiction?
Yeah,
because she seems to very much be implying that it was like a conscious choice to continue to do drugs so that the host would be mollified. But
she could just be justifying it to herself and other
that's
people.
Totally true. I guess probably a kid's book wouldn't get into like the graphic descriptions of how they would deal with addiction. Yeah, but I was just curious about it.
Yeah, and I think there is a little bit of like, she would probably experience the dealing with withdrawal and stuff like that, but there's like a little bit of a disconnect there. It's not. There seems to be a separate, like, specifically when we talk about Visser 3 and Marco's mom, who's like beaten to shit, and how a lot, like all of the injuries she seems to have almost seem to be more of a hindrance than actually an annoyance in the background that's stopping her from doing some basic things, than like something that's causing her a great deal of discomfort. So
right. I guess it's almost implied that she can hand the pain off to the host.
Right. Yeah.
Sort of. It's it's just so silly. But then we get SM being like, I'm learning from this body, that humans have many weaknesses. For instance, people want to laugh. That is a weakness that this person uses to gain power, because he knows that people just want to be distracted from their lives. And they like long legs and many teeth. It's like, okay.
Oh, aliens.
Aliens. And the other thing that happens a lot in this book that is amazing is Idris, aka Visser 1, talking with, I don't know if we knew Marco's mom's name before this, but it is Ava. And we get them speaking to each other a lot, and I like fell in love with Marco's mom so much.
Same, yeah.
Because like she's so like resilient, and still somehow, after all of these years, after everything she's lost, after everything she's had to see her kid go through, is just like openly mocking her all the time.
She's such a great energy in this book, for sure.
She really is.
And I mean, I don't have like anything specific in mind, but it's just constant. Like, she's always making comments about something that like Visser 3 is saying, or something that like she's almost, and it's strange because she has self-interest in her own body that Visser 1 is in, but also like there's like combative collaboration there at points, which I think is really awesome. It's kind of the semi-antagonistic body sharing dynamic that I kind of love, you know?
This book has a lot of really good body sharing. A lot of it.
Like, and not just even with Ava, it's like with like other hosts. Because the bomb we get dropped on us is that
right, there's sort of a mislead first where Idris is like, there are two humans that I really don't want to be killed, which is the main reason I don't want there to be an all-out war. And I feel like it's supposed to be like a red herring, like maybe she's grown to care about Marco and Marco's dad.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
And then fairly soon after this, soon enough that I think it's worth just saying, we learn who those humans actually are.
Yes. So it turns out that Visser 1 or Idris, I guess, in a host body had children with SM also in a host body, like together, and all. It's just like, okay, all of that happened.
Yeah.
Because they bring in a man named Hildy Gervais, who's like clearly homeless, you know, and you know, called like named as much, you know, called like a street rat, I think, which is like a little, feels like it should be in like it feels a little too dramatic to be something that someone actually would say with their mouth. You know what I mean? Who is like talking like, oh, these naming all the types of aliens that are around him. So obviously is not like crazy out of nothing, I guess. Has an understanding of what's actually happening, because he was the host of Isam, who is like a Yerk who's dead now. So he has all these details because he experienced this 14 months that were missing, where Idris never did a memory dump. And they're like, well, what happened there? And she's like, well, I'd rather not say.
Yep.
And
it's great. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and as it turns out, just this weird romance happened, and where children were involved, and it seems to be an inconvenient part of Idris's story.
And like just before we, the book even gets into what actually happened there, the Animorphs arrive, ?
Mm-hmm.
I love one of the things that gets dropped is that, so they've noticed as a whole that often it will be 5 animals and 1 Andalite.
Mm-hmm.
And the theories that they have are that either he can't morph, like they have 1 Andalite in their gang that can't morph, or he's being used as essentially like a flag, like they're waving him as a banner to be like, yo, we're the Andalites and we're here. And I love that. I love that they took a moment to think about, like, what would these people think if they're like, did you notice that they always have 1 actual Andalite with them? Like, what the fuck is his deal?
Reminds me of one of the first times we meet Visser 1. I don't remember the circumstances, but she points out that there are never any human casualties among the body reports.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much it's just very much like Visser. It's just a very much in stark contrast to Visser 3's fucking morph and fuck shit up and just like do some Saturday morning. I mean, they're both on some Saturday morning cartoon bullshit, but like Visser 3 is definitively much more the Saturday morning cartoon bullshit man.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's like less scary because he's more cartoonish in a way, you know. Whereas Visser 1, it's interesting because if she was like less emotionally attached to humans as she clearly seems to be, she would definitely be more scary. And she still kind of manages to maintain that. But after you see all of this, you're like, oh, you're not going to be able to go through on anything, are you? You're just not going to.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah? I
don't know.
I'm
like, she goes through so much.
Yeah, that's true. I think... Yeah, there still is this huge power-hungry aspect of her that seems to be driving her above. I mean, that's a major conflict later in the book of how she's driven more by her power than her actual, like, she's like, well, that was fun, but we have to move on now sort of situation.
Yeah. So, right. This is the thing. She brings up these theories about their weird Andalite friend because she notices that there are only 4 of the Andalites here, and none of them is actually an Andalite. And she's like, what the fuck? And then pretty quickly realizes that actually Visser 3 has brought in 2, like, real animals, has brought in an actual tiger and an actual bear, and then has convinced 2 of his Hork-Bajir controllers to all 4, like, to just pretend to be the bandits so that he can kill them in front of the council and pretend that he's dealt with them. Yeah. Which cannot possibly have been his actual plan, right? Like he has an advisor or something.
Oh yeah, that he didn't. Chapman's idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Visser 3 very much leans into this. Like I feel like this has to be a thing he came up with.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so much.
It's so stupid. Yeah. Visser 3 is full himbo mode activated.
It works is the thing.
It does work though. It works for everyone but Visser 1 basically. Yeah.
Well, and the guy on the council whose name I can't remember.
Garoff or something?
Yeah.
That man. He's like yes, that was certainly a coincidental something or other.
Yeah. And I feel like this is when the book gets pretty consistently very, very, very dark. Like, so, I mean, first of all, this is I love the whole thing where, so the humans that they end up in, one of whom was this guy that we just met, the other one is named Allison. These 2 were already in love, and then the Yeerks also kind of fall in love with each other, and then all 4 of them are sort of in love with each other in a weird way, and so all 4 of them kind of have kids together. And we learned that she disposed of, like, Allison is a technician of some kind on movie sets, and so she took over Allison by drowning Jenny and like taking her over under the pool. There's a great moment where she wanted to test Allison and see how far, like, see what she would do. So she let her have control of just one of her own eyes. And Allison was like, just waited for a very long time until she saw an opportunity where they were on the road, closed the one eye to mess with her depth perception, and nearly got them into a fatal wreck. And Idris was like, oh, fuck. Humans will die rather than be enslaved. Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's interesting. That specific detail was so interesting to me because it seemed as though the lore suggested that Yeerks have an all-in-out 100% control over their hosts, no matter what. I think this being kind of implied by the like good Yeerks, the two that we have. But it does seem to be that they can have a sort of shared experience instead of a wholesale 100% control all the time. Which I think is interesting. It might not even be something that some Yeerks are aware that they can actually do, you know?
Right.
But in any case, I just thought that detail was really interesting because I was like, the implications.
There's also, like, sort of offhand, a couple things, like, implied that Yeerks really... That morale is kind of low because Yeerks find humans so hard to control.
Yeah.
Which is really... there are so many little hints to, like, how things might fall apart for the Yeerks.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to see which of them are going to play out.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like we're definitely, like, moving into our endgame, sort of.
Yeah.
But this book specifically seemed to be planting some seeds for that.
Yeah.
Which is just tremendous.
And it starts, like, the hints that Idris is sort of gonna get more human aligned start happening pretty quickly. They're like, so this 14 months that you never checked in, we want to see it. We're gonna do a memory probe of just that time. And Garoff, like, they start doing, I love this shit so much. They do, like, we're in the memories, like, we go to the past, and then Garoff just, like, appears in it, like some fucking Ghost of Christmas Past shit.
It is, like, my favorite trope.
In the car. It's so good. And she's, like, Idris is talking about how she's driving and she just, like, speaking with Allison about science, like having a discussion with her, even though she doesn't really need to. She could just, like, learn everything that she wants from Allison. She could just take that knowledge, but she enjoys speaking to her. And yeah, we get this series of memories of Idris and Allison and what's the man's name?
Hildy?
Hildy, thank you.
And
Hildy
Esam.
And Esam, all, like, they're of the pregnancy happening, learning that it's going to be twins. We get the actual labor, and we get the four of them having a discussion and actually saying, like, we swear the four of us that these children are going to be taken care of. Like this polyamorous alien quintet.
It is insane. It's like, wow.
It's and basically Idris is like, Allison wanted to show Idris that humans are, like, complex, because she was hoping that she could convince her, like, we're not just host bodies, we have a lot going on, you can't just take us, and then accidentally showed her that love is real, and Idris fell in love and is like I think it's Garoff at one point is like, you're just like your first host body, you also got an addiction, but it was addicted to being human.
But they don't ever say love. They say, like, increased sympathy or something like that. Yeah, it's just interesting word choices. I enjoy interesting, extremely deliberate word choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's all of this evidence against Idris, and then the council decides to go on break, basically, and they realize, oh, the council really doesn't want to convict Idris, like, at all, because they don't want to have to kill her. And we also get the moment where Ava has also seen all of these memories and learns that Idris is also a mother. And Idris is like, okay, fine, like, come on, make fun of me, like, mock me. I'm probably about to die. And Ava's just like, no. No.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit with this, but there is a line later where she's just like, "You are a serial murderer, a slave queen, and something else. How can I feel the sympathy for you that I do?"
Yeah. But she very much does, which is something I appreciate a lot about her character.
It's not redemption, but it's complexity in the same way that redemption arcs have. You know what I mean? It's like,
absolutely.
Oh, these villains are just they have weaknesses within them. You know, it's easy to see them as like monsters with no like other emotions other than, you know, desire to continue to like I don't know, conquer. But I mean, a lot of what like Idris is going through is ascribed to her being inhuman so much, but also seems to just be an inherent thing within her as well. Her tendency, I mean, right off the bat, like we were saying, her tendency to commit treason immediately just because she thinks she has a better idea. She does not defer to authority particularly well. And then on the other hand, I mean, we see this constantly. Visser 3's hubris is just constantly fucking him up. He's more concerned with his own self-image than he is with conquering. It's just it's interesting character complexity that I love so much, especially with antagonists.
I have to give Axe a point here, which is that every time the council adjourns, they say, "We will adjourn for 1 standard hour." Which makes me think maybe our hours are different. That's why Axe is always like, one of your hours. Because it's not a standard hour.
Right. We just happen to call it the same thing.
Yeah. And at this point, basically, Ava and Idris are like, the only way to turn this around is to make the council realize that Visser 3 just lied to them about defeating the bandits, so we have to get the actual bandits to show up so that he doesn't win and create war and my kids die. And so imagine, if you will, go on this journey with me. You're just in the cafeteria. You're a grunt. You like work in an office. You do not that much. Out of nowhere, the fucking CEOs of your company, who hate each other and are constantly trying to get each other fired, just sit with you and start eating grilled chicken. Like, it's crazy. They just sit down and they're like, everyone around them doesn't know what to do, doesn't know who to listen to, is like trying to eat as fast as possible because they don't want to be there, but they also don't want to offend them by walking away. Like, it's so funny. And this is when we get the tie-in of the last book, which I really appreciated it actually happening in real time.
Yes. A controller at the table, auspiciously, I guess is the word. Maybe, if I'm using that one correctly. I never know. We'll just say it's right. Gets a phone call. And Visser 1 is like, it's interesting that we can get cell service way down here. Interesting. I'm going to fall on top of this woman and then take her cell phone.
Yep.
And then say that I have to use the restroom and then make a very important phone call. And then we get very important...
Like, thank goodness this was in the 90s when people still memorized phone numbers.
Right.
Can you, like... If I were a host body and they were like, time to call your best friend to threaten them, I'd be like, okay, fucking good luck.
I don't retain that information.
On someone else's cell phone? No way.
The only cell phone number that I have committed to memory besides my own is my mother's, and that's just because she's had the same one for 12 years, which
predates
when I had a cell phone.
Yep, I know
Yeah.
my dad's. I know my dad's home phone number because it was my home phone number growing up.
Yes.
And I know my dad's cell phone number because I used to have to call it from the payphone at high school to get him to come pick me up.
Yeah. My dad got, for some reason, got our old home phone number before we stopped using a landline, converted to his cell phone number, which seems like a bad idea for a lot of reasons. But, that's the only reason I know his number.
Yep. I almost couldn't believe how much my heart leapt as soon as Marco entered the scene.
Yes.
Like, Marco's like, hi. And she's like, hi, Marco. And I was like, and I'm so happy every single time we get acknowledgement from adult characters how terrifying it is that these kids are so good at things.
Yeah.
We got it with Aldria recently when she was like, whoa, shit, Cassie knows what she's doing. And in this one, we get Idris being like, fuck, Marco's fucking cold-blooded.
Yeah, there's in the prologue at the very beginning, the Visser 1 makes, when she is like thinking about Marco as she goes into the fucking boat to ride off into the storm, she says he was too sweet-natured and trusting to ever make it very far in a hard world, and then she like corrects herself on that in this scene.
Yeah, and she says it out loud. She's like, I thought you were too soft and gentle at one point. And Marco's like, shit happens.
Yeah.
And then Eva chimes in at some point to say just to point out that like that was handed down to him from her.
Yeah. And there is a moment too where Eva just like in their head is like, I love you, Marco. And then Visser is like, your mother loves you, Marco. And he's like, I know my mother loves me, Visser. And he hangs up the phone. And I'm like,
It is so good. It's
and
so good.
She's like, oh, fuck. Marco is willing to let his mother die. I don't have as many bargaining chips as I thought I did.
Yeah.
But essentially, Marco agrees to come infiltrate and attack them.
Yeah. I think Marco's just really good at bluffing, both to other people and to himself.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because Visser won, and Marco as well, probably totally convinced that he's willing to let his mom die, but he definitely isn't,
Yeah.
Just what we know of Marco and the internal life that we've experienced with him. Yeah. Oh, honey.
Yep. And at this point, we go back to sort of the point where Idris gets in contact with the Yeerks again.
Mm-hmm.
And the excuse given is like, Archangel is running out of power, so we will die if we don't do it. And there's conflict there. It's sort of the seed of conflict that Idris is like, we're gonna talk to the chiefs. We're gonna do it. And SM is like, no, like let's just pretend that we were lost and go back, like, and then come back to Earth. Fuck that. And she tells the story of him threatening her, or sort of like chaining her up and starving her, keeping her weak.
Right.
And
Yeah.
leaving with the kids. And we get this line talking about how SM decided to leave with the kids because he was in love. He was in love with Allison. He was in love with his host. He was in love with humans. He was in love with it all. He was in love with love. Which I think makes him a bicon.
I think so too.
We have no choice but to stand.
Yep.
We have no further options.
Yep. We get a description of Visser 3 striding back and forth before a hologram, practically prancing in excitement of hearing his own ranting.
Oh, that was exactly the thing. I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with you. I hate you.
Know.
It's just the self-obsession is insane. And I think, honestly, being in an Andalite is probably, Visser 1 is maybe the way she is because she was in humans for so long. And Visser 3 is the way he is because he's been in an Andalite so long, who are notoriously arrogant.
Yep, absolutely.
It's great.
It's very good. there's sort of a knock on Hollywood, because basically Idris has started to like form the concept of the sharing, and she's like, well, we gotta leave Hollywood because they've already got fucking hundreds.
Everything.
They've got fucking hundreds of little weird cults. So we have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then Visser 3 is like, well, if you're not a traitor and you don't care about humanity, why not kill one of your own kids? Surprise, I've got one.
Surprise, I've got one, and his name is Darwin.
His name is Darwin.
It was, I mean...
And this is so dark.
It really
so
is.
dark.
And
it's dark, but also Darwin
is
is such a bad name.
It is.
Yeah, the thing is, there's also a bit of levity because there's just like it just feels like that scene in Wayne's World where it's just like, go then, I'm going, I'll go, I'm gone, just like, so shoot him, I'm gonna shoot him, I will shoot him, I will.
I feel like Idris takes a page purposefully from Visser 3's book.
Oh, 100%.
Here.
100%.
She's like, okay, so if I can just keep monologuing until the Andalite bandits arrive, then I won't have to shoot my kid in the chest.
Yeah.
As the kid holds the gun against himself.
Yep.
Yeah, because he is also human
Yeah,
controller.
he's a controller. But then the Andalites bust in and rip shit up. And there's a very good moment during this where one of the Taxon controllers that is watching via hologram just like starts eating like a subordinate that is passing him by.
He's like excited by the violence. That was one of the moments that I just wrote down with like this book. The other being that like a Hork-Bajir staggers back holding his own internal organs in his hand. I was like, Jesus. This book just keeps going.
Yeah, this is it's some crazy, but it's like, it feels like a lot of the alien stuff that's happening is like Star Wars level alien stuff to me, in a way.
Oh, totally. The holograms specifically, holograms that actually involve like a 3D projection are always going to feel super Star Wars. I know that every sci-fi has done them, but like they just feel so like Jedi Council.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
especially with a council, you know?
Yeah. And then Marco comes in as a gorilla and punches Visser 1 in the face.
Yeah. He's like, is this what you meant? And she's like, yeah. And then he just knocks her the fuck out.
Yep. And comes to in one of the like sort of taxon tubes.
Yes.
Like this moment made me... I love seeing the kids from an outside perspective so much. It's so interesting.
Really good.
Thinking the same thing this entire scene.
Like,
because
they're in a hologram and she's like, your holograms are really sophisticated. Like, maybe better than Andalite technology. And he says, yeah, just like something we put together from stuff we bought at Radio Shack.
I love him so much.
Oh, Marco. Yep. So Marco and Axe are the only ones out of morph in this sort of situation.
Yeah. Cassie's in polar bear morph, which
Cassie's
we know because at
bear.
one point she's like, Idris is like, what the fuck? Because he just turns to the polar bear and is like, Cassie?
And it's at this point where Visser 1 is like, okay, so the tiger has to be an Andalite. That thing is way too cold and calculating to be anything but. And then like 2 pages later, it's revealed that no, that's just Jake, and the Visser is like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
It's so good because the thing that makes her think that is Jake being like, I mean, we might want Visser 3 to be in charge because he's dumb and everyone hates him.
Rules.
Which is so true.
This is like, Ava starts talking more. She's like, you infested me completely at random, but I think it was actually fate. I believe that you infested me so my son would grow strong and wise and destroy you. And it's like, And then I don't know, since maybe the two of you knew this because I live in a different country. I thought that this wasn't true. I didn't know that New Hampshire license plates actually were live free or die.
Oh, I've never been to New Hampshire, so...
Yeah, New Hampshire doesn't exist.
I was like, this might as well be true.
Yeah, it is true, because Marco at some point is like, hey, Visser 1, do you know what it says on the New Hampshire license plates? You do. Ask my mom. Get down in there. And Idris is like, live free or die? And he's like, yeah, either my mom gets out of here free or I'll fucking kill her. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
oh, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, the thing is, again, I don't, like, Marco wouldn't be able to kill her, but the thing is about Axe is that he has no reservations about this whole situation.
None
and he's
whatsoever.
basically the one responsible for actually doing it with his little tail blade. Yep, that's the ultimatum, basically, is like, you have 10 seconds to get out of my mom, so, like, we can have a conversation, or something, or just get out of my mom, and then a conversation does happen, or else I just kill both of you.
I love, like, again, this book, I mean, this whole series, it's just full of amazing visuals. I love the thought of how this would happen in an episode or in a movie, which is exactly as it's described here, where we lose all visual, we lose all hearing. All we get is Idris's internal monologue being like, they could just kill me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't sense anything. Everything is dark. I know that I'm in someone's hand. This could be the end. And then suddenly, like, opens her eyes again and sees Marco just crying in front of her.
Oh, I know. And I was like, heart hurty.
I know. Heart hurty very much.
He's just a baby.
Yes. And we pretty quickly learned that basically the conversation was like, hey, Marco's like, hey, Mom, we're gonna go throw this yerk in the pool now. And Ava's like, we can't. They will know that something happened if this body disappears, and she turns up without a host. They will investigate. They will find you. Can't do that. We can't let Visser 3 become the leader, because then there will be a war. And Marco's like, then at least we could fight back. And Ava's like, but we might lose, and even if we win, billions could die. And we get a fucking... The whole thing is hard, but, like, we get a moment where Marco's like, we really need you. Like, we need you at home. And Ava's like, I need you too, but, you know, we have to do this for humanity. And by the way, let your dad date. He needs it.
Yeah. It's so intense.
Yeah. And Marco's like, hey, we recorded this. And we'll show it to your bosses. And they'll punish you.
And someone on the council is one of ours.
Yeah. It's basically like, no, Yerks aren't all loyal. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So,
then it sort of goes mostly into, like, the formation of the sharing at this point.
Right. So there's, like, Visser 1, it basically is, like, I think kind of telling Ava at this point.
Yeah.
I wasn't completely honest with the council. Things went a little bit differently. Me and SM had both, like, agreed to start the sharing and stuff like that. Like, that was all cool. And I was actually, like, part-timing in Allison as well as in the head of the sharing, Lord David Altman.
Yeah, it was a realtor who was named Lawrence Alter. And then she changed his name to Lord David Altman because 3 name combinations were popular at the time. Which is so funny. And she says that the sharing is designed to feed on the most fundamental human weaknesses, which are the need to belong, the fear of loneliness, the hunger to be special, which I love as
Same.
Like a tactical evaluation of humanity.
Yeah.
And it's so, and we actually get her, like, studying cults, studying charlatans, like, studying all of these people, and she invests in iconography and the sort of sweeping generalizations that humans always fall for. And I love, because the in-grouping has always been what has fucked humans up forever. And I love that being seen as like an exploitable weakness.
Yes, totally. We get a scene later that so there's like an inner sharing and an outer sharing, and the inner sharing is basically the controller. She was like, there weren't any at this point, but I had made a bet with Isam basically that humans
we could get a voluntary host.
Yeah, exactly. And she does. Yeah, there's this dude, and she's like, so why do you want to be in the inner circle? And she's like, I really want to belong to something bigger than me, basically. I believe in all of this stuff. I'm super into it, and I just want to be part of something bigger than me. And she was like, well, you'll lose all of your, like, individuality. And he's probably thinking, yeah, that's metaphorical. Sure, I'll be into it.
And then he had shown the Yerk, and he's like, okay, but if I put that in my head, I'm in the inner circle, right? And
yeah.
And like she is just like completely like Visser one is just like, oh, this is a trap, right? Like there's no way this man is that desperate. But then he just kind of lets the Yerk slurp up on in.
Yep.
And just very callously, again, this book, they record the first voluntary host invasion. Then SM was like, yeah, you won. And then they uncontrol him, and then they just kill him.
Yep.
And basically, you know, Idris decides that there isn't time to be Allison anymore, so she wants to be Lore full-time to really devote herself to the sharing. And it's like, okay, well, time to kill Allison, and then we should also kill Hildy because it makes more sense if they disappear together. And SM is like, no.
That's gonna be no for me, Chief.
This is basically when SM escapes with the kids, and she stalks them for a while and manages to find them. When the kids get sick, they take the kids to a hospital and pop up on like a database, and she arrives, and we get this great like final confrontation between her and SM / Hildy, because it's really both,
right?
And this is when we get like another moment of a Yerk insisting that they're not predatory.
Right.
Like she says, we're a parasite, you're a predator. Go ask a cow or a pig what they think of humans. We're all just doing what we need to do.
Right. And then they fight in a hospital. Oh, that's a little bit later, but that does happen. They fight in a hospital.
Yeah, hospital brawl.
Yeah. And SM basically at this point is mostly starving from the Kandrona rays, and it basically is already partially dead. So he tries to get out of the host body because that's like the instinct as a Yerk is dying. And man, this moment, like she goes to pull him all the way out of Hildy's ear, and part of him is like still stuck, and so she just rips him in half. And then he just is dead, and she just puts him in her pocket, and she's like, all right, I'm the only Yerk on Earth, and this is truly what we are. We are something so small that my best friend and lover is something that I can just put in my pocket. Okay. Well.
And then, basically, like, and now you know the rest of the story. Like, she killed Lord David Altman and became Ava, and et cetera, so on and so forth.
Yeah, she points out that she arranged for Lore to die because of something that we've heard in this series before, which is that alive leaders are fallible, they can make mistakes. Dead leaders are martyrs and cannot make mistakes anymore.
Which is, I mean, yeah. It's interesting, and also like and a lot of this is really a interesting examination to basically the psychology of cults, which I did not anticipate at the end of this book.
Same, yeah.
But it something I'm like personally interested in, so I was like, yeah, cool, I'm into this.
Yeah. Which totally makes sense as like the sharing, but
right,
like,
totally.
I wasn't expecting them to actually be explicit about it, I guess, for some reason.
Right.
And they were, and I enjoy that. And I love still, like, that basically this is an example where if our society was better set up to, like, support people, then the sharing wouldn't have as much power as it does.
Right.
Because we wouldn't have all these isolated people, theoretically.
Yes.
And so that shows us that just like part of the reason that we can be infiltrated by evil forces is that we don't take care of each other.
Right, exactly.
Which I am just fine with being like, yo, humans. The fuck?
In the end, it was capitalism the entire time.
At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
So the sentences at the end are basically both Visser 1 and Visser 3 are sentenced to death.
Yeah, by Kandrona starvation, which is apparently the worst.
Yes, but... Which I don't know. I think it's probably comparable to fucking torture.
Yeah.
But the sentences were suspended. And if they... So basically, it's like a plea deal. You know, you do these things and you don't have to, like, do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
If either of them fail... So there's, like... They'll both be killed. So there's, like, you know... They kind of can't... Maybe this is the way the
children get along.
Yeah, basically. Put them in We Will Get Along shirt. At threat of death.
Yeah. And we learn, like, that Andalites are amassing an army, and they're either going to attack Earth, or... Do we know what the Enadi are?
It does
I think
not
this is the
sound...
first time...
Yeah, I think that's the first time it's been mentioned.
Okay, because basically the council is like... So the Andalites are either going to attack the Enadi planet or they're going to attack Earth, whichever one they decide is more important. We want them to not attack Earth. So Visser 3, don't start a fucking war because that will call their attention. And Visser 1, go be on the Enadi planet and make sure that they're ready for shit. Great.
Yes.
And then we get this. I feel like this is like the last twist of the knife of like Idris's like trauma and just like full villain transformation. I mean, she's always been a villain, but this is like really like her shutting off another part of herself where she's like, well, Darwin's already a host, so I can't save him, but my daughter, Madras, is still free, and so one day I'll come back, and she'll either accept me as her mother, or I'll just make her a controller, and then she'll have to love me. Everything is fine. Everything is great. My life is looking up.
Oh, jeez. Idris.
Yeah.
And then our final line, I think, is something to the effect of where she considers telling Visser 1 about
Visser
the
3.
Andalite bandits, what she actually knows about them. But then she's
She considers telling Visser 3 about it.
Oh, Visser 3 is what I meant to say, yes.
Yeah, that they're
she's
humans.
She's like, nah.
Just kidding.
Basically, like, looks right at the camera like, womp womp.
And that's Animorphs.
Should we tell him?
Yes.
I just realized that I forgot to put up a questions tweet this week. Oops.
That's okay.
That's okay. We are already way over time.
We
Yes.
are.
Thank you so much for listening this week.
This was good book.
It was super good. Like I said, it did so many of my favorite sci-fi things. So it is, yes, very, very quickly became, I was like, oh, this is like one of my favorite books we've read in a while now.
And, you know, ultimately, as much as I was looking forward to a Visser 3 story, I think that this perspective of Visser 3 is actually way more interesting than anything we could have gotten
Totally.
from being inside his head.
Right? Yeah. I don't think he has a complex inner life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put that out there.
I think he just kind of wears it all on his sleeve.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting because the way that things are set up, if this book was from Visser 3's perspective, he could not have won, and so we couldn't have a win in that book because he can't win because he's the main villain. And so in this way we get to see a villain sort of have this like terrible championship in a way that we couldn't, and in a way that I think is really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really narratively satisfying. I just
Very.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Animorphs. It's good.
Yeah, so thank you all for listening to this week's episode of The Wonder Years. If you want to find the show, you can do so at Twitter, at The Wonder Years. You can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/fearbaiting, where you can also support the sister podcast to this one, Fearbaiting, where Sarah talks with a guest about a horror movie.
We're doing Christine this week.
Yes. And I just put up the episode that came out that was recorded a long time ago, and you immediately dated it as I was listening to it. I was like, God damn it, I can't just let this fly under the radar, where you talked with Gage about Shutter Island.
Out of curiosity, what did I say to date it?
You mentioned 420 coming up, and I was like, it is well past that.
Of course I did!
But if you were a $5 and up patron, you get your name read at the show at the end. So thank you so much to Michael Kaiser, Paul Moran, Kit Spindler, Paul Bechtel, Sophie, and Becky Aisha for your support. If you want to find me online, you can do so at BlairKitsch on Twitter or blairkitsch.tumblr.com. And plugs?
You can find me on Twitter at sunhatzhenya. That's SUNHATZHENYA. I'm also over on Mastodon there. I'm trying to be more active there because Twitter is a hellscape that's bad for my mind, and Mastodon has a lot of similar stuff, but there's no Nazis and it's mostly furries.
Sure, not furry problems. So
I'm on Twitter at nudity with an E instead of a Y. You can check out my other podcast where I make little songs to solve little problems at Musical Mole on Twitter. And you can check out my other music at gaygothvibes.online. Happy Mother's Day, stream Culpable on Spotify.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, do that. Also, thank you very much to Matt GameCube for hosting this podcast on the wonderful Noisepace.xyz network.
Yes. We appreciate all things.
We love you, Matt GameCube.
And we will see you in 2 weeks with The Mutation. But until then...
I'm excited. That's a promising title.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Probably more morph hijinks. But until then, I have been Blair.
I continue to be Sarah.
I'm Seda.
And remember...
Keep your hand on the Escafil device.
The mutation is going to be about, like, cafeteria or something. Like, it's not going to have anything to do with mutating. I guarantee it.